Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas noches.
Buenos everything. It's Barb.
And Estela.
And we're here coming at you with a Cafecito in Crime Part 2. Welcome, everybody. If you're new to listening to us, I'm Barb. And Estela, obviously, is just out here trying to make it, you know, with the crime. So last week we did post a pod that was the part 1 of this pod. So if you haven't listened to part 1, please go back and listen to part 1. So this is the
this can make sense.
Yeah, this is a part 2 of the Brenda Delgado case. The Brenda Delgado murder, because she's the one that murdered the person that we're talking about. So by now we are in July, everybody. So happy July-er. So let's get started. So as I told you last time, Estela, you know, by this time Brenda has her little team
to carry out her BS.
Her stupid ass shit that she wants to do. So as we learned from last video, she wants to I did it from last episode, sorry. But please like my channel. I'm just kidding. So she got her little people that she was going to get together to kill this poor lady, Miss Kendra, a very nice girl.
So who are these people?
So Dr. Kendra was her ex's new girlfriend, and then she got together Crystal, which is the friend that she found after the other girl told her, no, I'm not going to kill anybody. And then after that, she got Christopher Love.
Christopher with the K.
Love. Mm-hmm. And Christopher Love, all he wanted in his life was to be a pimp. So he decided to go ahead and
say yes
to the $3,000. And it was $3,000 and that was it. She didn't even offer him a car or anything. She just offered him $3,000.
It's her connections, remember?
Well, because, you know, as we learned, she actually, according to her, not that this was real, she had connections to the cartel. And so they were scared of her. Apparently, that's what that was doing. La Brenda is like, you know what? Let's just get this done. Because they're moving away. They're going to move away.
What?
Yeah. So before, at the last episode, he was thinking about, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move away because I got a job.
Who got a job?
Ricky.
Uh-huh.
So Ricky is telling her that he got a job and that he was going to move. He called her, emailed her, whatever, texted her. So he's still texting this girl, thinking that maybe he thought that was his friend, like for real. You know?
But I thought you said that he told her that we weren't supposed to be friends anymore.
Well, no, he did. But at the same time, he told her that he was going to take her off of his phone plan. So he texted her saying, hey, good luck on the exam that you're having. She was having an exam, apparently. I don't know if she was still going to school. I'm not sure about that. And then letting her know that he was going to take her ass off of his phone plan. So
okay.
He's like, I'm taking you off of my phone plan.
I'm moving.
And I'm moving. Yeah. So he got offered a job in San Francisco and he was going to take it. So Brenda started to panic. She's like, okay, he's going to be 1,700 miles away from me. And I know that he was going to he's moving with Kendra. So she's like, shit. She's like, shit, I have to do something, you know. So then by this time, she also found out that they were planning a trip to Cancun in September. So they're like, okay, we're going to Cancun before we move away. That's what she figured in her head on September the 2nd. How does she know this? Because she's still stalking them, right? And so then she started to panic. She was like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? So we have to put the shit together quickly. Like, we have to kill her the day before they leave, because to make sure that they're not leaving, right?
Yeah.
So September 1st. So they go ahead and not only did they plan on killing her, remember, she wanted to beat up Ricky enough to put him in a coma so that she can take care of him. Remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So before all of this, she started doing this. All of them were following around Kendra, kind of like knowing which is weird because she had already been following her, but I guess to see what time she got off of work and that kind of thing.
Be more precise.
So they decided within all of their investigations. Yeah, because they were investigating with their night goggles. That the best place to do this was going to be when she got off of work and she was going to park her car in the garage.
The parking garage. Okay.
Yeah. So the plan was for Christopher with the K to shoot Kendra And then Crystal was going to be the
Getaway driver.
Yeah, the getaway driver. So...
¿Y Brenda iba a estar ahí también con ellos? Or it was
Brenda, hold on. We're going to get there. So then Brenda said, I'm going to ask my friend to let me borrow his BMW so that could be the getaway car because they didn't even fucking have a car.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, está pendeja, pero no está tan pendeja because she's like, I'm going to ask a friend to let me borrow their car.
Because ese car wouldn't have any ties to any of them.
So then she's like, hey, I want to borrow your car, your BMW. Your friend says, yeah. And guess what? It breaks down.
A BMW breaks down?
BMW breaks down. So they're like, shit, what are we going to do now?
Okay.
So they're like, the BMW is broken. I have no idea what we're going to do. So then Brenda's scrambling because by this time she knows that the time is coming to where they have to do this kill because otherwise
Se van a ir.
Yeah. So then Brenda asked one of her friends, his name is Jose. So she asked Jose, hey, Jose, he's a mechanic. Can you fix my car that I have broken, but I need to have a loaner car so I can drive around?
Y le dijo que sí.
Y le dijo que sí. José le dijo que sí y le prestó un Jeep Cherokee. Okay? So le iba a prestar el Jeep Cherokee and she said, perfect. That's fine. So then she said, hey, Jose, you want to go out to dinner? On this night.
On what?
On this night. So on the night that they were going to do the murders or the day, she went out to dinner.
So she could have that's her alibi.
Yeah. So she's like, hey, Jose, do you want to go out to dinner? Might as well, whatever. And then, he's like, yeah. So they went to the library.
Oh, my fave.
Mm-hmm. So they went to the library.
¿A qué fueron a la librería?
I don't know.
Good question.
Pero fueron a la librería. And not only that, but they went to Chili's.
We know somebody who likes Chili's.
A lot.
Okay.
Excuse me. So they went to Chili's and los otros dos pendejos pues se iban a ir a hacer el murder,
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Brenda's like, hey, I found a car. Here's the Jeep.
Les dijo a los otros.
A los otros pendejos. Here's the Jeep. You're going to go do the murder while I go to Chili's.
to library.
Sí, porque no, es que es estudiosa. Es estudiosa.
Like, I really want to know. Okay, like, I understand, okay, you're going to Chili's. I get it. You're going to dinner. What are you going to go do at the library?
I don't know, but this is
maybe she wanted to make her alibi longer.
A lot of the alibi that I found, that I read, like a lot of the stories or, whatever. One of them, there was like two that said the library and a lot of them said only Chili's. So maybe she just went to Chili's but I found a few that said library. Like, she did go to the library. I don't know.
Maybe she had a book that she needed to return.
Maybe.
Because she couldn't keep up with them fees.
No.
Porque lo te cobran and then ya valiste verga.
Yeah, valiste verga. Dude, I have a library card for, like, the longest since I got to Houston. And I have the same library card since I got to Houston.
To what library?
To the one over there in close to downtown. Like, over there by where you used to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same library card. I wonder if it still works. I doubt
I was about to say, que no se vencen?
Se vencen. Because then I got another one at this library. So I have that one here. This one's updated. That library right here.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she went to the library and she went to Chili's. She had to have the Patron margarita. That's my favorite there. With the little cup.
And Dad's.
Yeah. And no, my sister Vanessa, she loves her little Chili's. She loves her Chili's little margarita. And so then, because no es que le echas más hielo y se hace más,
Yeah. It's really not a lot.
Actually,
it's just a whole bunch of ice.
Actually, now I want to kind of go to Chili's. We ate Chili's when we went on our trip.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We did.
And they delivered margaritas.
They did. Dude, that fucking margarita was like, I couldn't even finish it. I was like, ugh. No, you ordered a sunrise, right?
I ordered a sunrise.
¿Y te trajeron dos?
Yeah, they brought me two, thank you, to the Chili's in Great
to our hotel room. And,
but it was
ahí
crazy.
quedó la otra. You're like, bro, so are you going to drink it? You're like, girl, no.
I was like out, asleep. And then, but anyway, the day comes, they're going to go. She's at Chili's, Brenda, and Christopher with the K and Crystal get the Jeep.
Is Crystal also with the K or Crystal's with the C?
No, Crystal's with the C.
Oh, okay.
Get it together, girl. And so then these two pendejos are like, let's do it.
Let's roll, friends.
they see that Kendra, and they have video of this happening. Like they had like surveillance CCTV of all of that happened. So you see them, they're parked in front of the apartment complex. So whenever she's driving into her parking garage, they follow her in.
Okay.
So they follow her in, and then
in the Jeep Cherokee,
and she's in her car. So they follow her in. She parks, and they follow her back there. Crystal stays at a spot where she can drive off, and so then Christopher with the K gets off. And it was kind of sad, but it because he didn't have to do this, but he shot her in the head. Yeah, when she came out, and he took her purse.
To make it seem like a robbery.
Yeah. So that's what that was their idea. So they drive away. And then they return the Jeep to Jose.
Como si nada.
Como si nada. So they say, here you go, Jose. Here it is. Like nothing happened. So some people, like they witnessed the scene. People here. Yeah, because this isn't broad daylight. Yeah, this was like, from what I heard, when I saw that she got shot, it was around 7:54. He killed her around that time. So it's still broad daylight.
It's still some light.
You know, it's still
it's still getting a little bit darker already.
Getting a little bit darker, but it was broad daylight. So maybe he did it like around 6-ish or whatever, because 7:54 is when they actually declared her.
That she passed.
So unfortunately, as you heard, she died instantly. Guess what? Ricky was in the apartment waiting for Kendra to come home.
So that was her apartment complex?
Yes, her apartment
and
complex.
He was already there waiting for her?
He was already there waiting for him to come home. So, and he was able to, he heard the commotion. So he actually texted her. Hey, be careful. Something's going on. I hear a lot of commotion out there. I don't know what happened.
Be careful.
Yeah, so they did interview him, but he said that afterwards, he said he didn't know who could have hurt her. He's like, I don't know who could have hurt her. So in another later interview, it explains to you how he found out what happened. That I'll talk to you in a little bit. So then he says, that he had no idea. But Ricky,
who could have done this? Or
my deal is like, Ricky, think about it, bruh. Like, are you that naive?
It's one thing to think that somebody's following you around y te lo encuentras here and there, but you never think that they're you're like, oh, a lo mejor se les fue un tornillo de la cabeza, pero you never think that they're going to take it to that level where they're going to kill somebody.
Yeah. So while this is going on, he calls his sister. He doesn't know what to do. They're questioning him. The cops are questioning him. And so he's like, what the fuck do I do? But at the same time, he texts Brenda. So he texts Brenda. She tells him, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Tell me what I could do to help you. And all this other bullshit that she's
pretending to care or some shit, trying to be helpful and whatever.
Espérate. Pinche sinvergüenza vieja was like, I'll bring you groceries.
Bitch. I'm pretty sure that's the last thing he's thinking about. Fucking groceries.
But guess what? He accepted.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I do not get it.
I mean, I'm sure
after going through all of this, like a few things, like okay, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like that's what I thought at one point. Maybe he thought they were actually like
friends, like on friendly terms, okay, and he wanted somebody to.
Pero ya te voy a quitar de mi pinche línea. Pero I can still text you, whatever, because he said in his mind she's always there to help me. So whatever,
that makes sense because his family's not here, and esto lo acaba de pasar. To Kendra, and he's devastated, and who else is he gonna turn to, if she's the one they're texting each other, y la conoce, I guess you just want that to have somebody that's familiar to you be there for you and bring you groceries.
Definitely, and bring you groceries, like it was saying, like that's so para que quiero,
it's so random.
Para que quiero comida y ahorita, like no quiero tragar, like my girlfriend that I really really love got murdered.
And we're supposed to move in together.
Yeah, and I just went down there and I saw where she was murdered. Like, we were supposed to move in together. We were leaving.
Going on vacation first, and then...
Fuck? Pinche huerca pendeja. Pero whatever. It doesn't get any better. So just be ready. So he doesn't know what to think. And his sister, calls her or whatever. And so then by this time, everything is on the news. Everybody's talking about it. Upscale apartment complex...
Is it within the same day? Like, it's all in the news?
No. It takes a few days. They investigate, but within that day, it's in the news, right? So then they're like, oh, the public needs help. You know how they put those things? Dallas PD needs help, trying to find the person because they went through the fucking videos. Y está la pinche Brenda.
Straight up
driving the Jeep.
Brenda?
I mean, excuse me. Crystal driving the Jeep straight up right in front of the camera. The Jeep. Okay? Right in front of the camera.
Well, I'm glad that they're this stupid to think that a luxury high-rise apartment complex wouldn't have surveillance.
I mean, they're like the best of the best. Like what I was reading, like some of the apartments were up to $2,000 a month. Like,
well, I mean that you know where you live.
Back in when was this? In
2015.
That's a lot of money. $2,000 a month. Nowadays it's not that much, but back then
it was a lot.
That was a grip. So so then by this time they say yes, it's a robbery. We're trying to find so they get a close up picture of the Jeep Cherokee. And Crystal driving off, right? So then, guess who sees it on TV?
But Jose
sees it on TV. So Jose says, "No, señor, not me, baby.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch." So Jose said, "Hell no, that's my car, but I had nothing to do with this." So he calls Brenda, and he tells Brenda, "Hey, what the fuck? ¿Qué chingados es este pinche pedo? You might want to talk to the cops because I had nothing to do with this. Like, you need to tell them what happened." So Brenda started shitting bricks. She's like, oh shit, what am I going to do? And so then she told them, she started doing the fucking thing if you fucking start saying something, I'm going to get the cartel on you.
To Jose?
To Jose.
What?
So you need to stop and don't say nothing.
Wait, remind me again how she knew him?
Jose was a friend of hers.
Okay.
And he was a mechanic that had fixed the BMW. And then
gave her a loaner.
And they went to Chili's together.
Yeah, in the library.
So then, guess what the last thing that she says to him? If you don't leave me, if you don't stop, or if you don't not mention anything, or if you go to the police, then I'm going to call ICE on you. And that is something that it bothered me a lot, because I feel like a lot of immigrant people like us, we were come from immigrant parents, don't do a lot because they get scared of what could happen.
Yeah.
And that's really sad. Like, I feel like that's unnecessary for her to set that. And that even enraged me more. I already hated her. Now I really, really hate her because she had the nerve to think to do something like that, because it's like, you don't know what Jose did to get into this country.
Yes.
Especially right now with everything going on with all of those people that they found trying to get over to the country, and they lost their lives. In San Antonio.
It was like 46 people were found.
54. Yes. I feel like that enrages me because I don't understand why people would want to hurt other human beings like that. Like, I don't give a shit who you are, but why? So anyway, then Jose said, I don't give a shit.
Yes.
A mí no me va a llevar esto. So he went to the police, and Jose said, nope, I had nothing to do with it. So I'm going to need you to go. And he tells her that he also knows who was involved, her and Crystal.
So les dijo, hey, this is my car on this surveillance video, but that wasn't me. He was like, this is who I let borrow my car.
Yeah. So he's like, this is who I let Brenda Delgado and Crystal.
Allá vive allí.
Allá vive aquí y vayan por ella
ahí vive.
Because he's smart. He's
not
like,
my
fuck
watch.
That.
He knew because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the police, if you're offering information in regards to a crime, they won't check if you have documentation.
No, they won't. They won't check you. No les interesa. Solamente quieren agarrar a la persona que.
They just want the information.
Yeah, la información. So then the cops go to Ricky, because by this time they're like, okay, we might have a possible suspect. And they show him a picture of who they think it was. So it's Brenda and Crystal. And they ask him, and he said, and I quote, "That's my ex." Yep. So then
Now they have a motive.
Now they have a motive. So they hear this, so they bring her ass straight in for questioning. And then this is crazy because they had the detective that actually questioned her inside of the room, and they have a video of her questioning. So I know this is so stupid, but I promise you it was so crazy to see it, because sometimes I'm like, us women are something else, like for real. So they bring her in and they say, hi, this is Detective so-and-so, and we're here to, because of something that happened, blah, blah, blah. And this girl, she first started acting all innocent. And
they always do. Pendeja.
And she was like, it wasn't me, que no sé qué, I don't know what you're talking about. And then guess what? She started that. So then the detective was saying up to, like, the investigator was like, she was acting like she kind of related to the investigator. So when they walked in, she was like, oh, I like your bracelet, or I like what you're wearing. And so it kind of caught the investigator off guard, because she was trying to relate to him, like, oh, where did you go to school, or whatever, like making small talk. And she's all like, when we bring somebody in for questioning, that's not the first thing that they do. I mean, once again, está pendeja, pero
no está pendeja.
No está tan pendeja, So then he kind of was like, wait a minute, like, this kind of caught me off guard when she started doing that. So then she did answer some of the questions, but whenever she started having trouble answering the questions, guess what she did?
She started crying?
No. She pulled down her sweater and she was like leaning in front of the cops. Like leaning in front of the detective.
Yeah.
Like como
showing cleavage.
Showing her titties. Like straight up. Like estaba así como, mira lo que te puedo dar,
Wow.
So then the detective was like, they were like, okay, you're trying to
seduce me?
So then they were like, oh, she might be cold. So they bought her a blanket. Because, para que se tapara.
Tapate, vieja loca.
No, like straight up. She's wearing a hat, and like, at first I was like, what is he talking about? Because at the beginning of the video, she's just kind of like talking to him. Pero as soon as she started like asking her question, she straight up was just like doing this. Like this.
Look at my titties.
Like, look at my titties. Yeah. Like leaning on the desk para que se le mirara eso. Like, oh my God. So they covered her ass.
Tiene frío, más pobre.
They kept questioning her, and they were like, okay, was the night of the murder? Where were you? Blah, blah, blah. And guess what she did? She says, yeah, I was with my friends at dinner. I was with my friend Jose at dinner. We went to Chili's. And guess what she does? She busts out the receipt.
Oh, yeah. She had it on her.
She had it on her. And it was neatly folded. So that's when the guy was like...
Investigator.
The investigator, excuse me. I don't know about that, because I've never seen somebody bust out a receipt. Neatly folded and that quick on an investigation. I mean...
No.
She was like,
here it is.
Here it is. So then he's like...
Dude, bitch, like, I'm surprised she didn't have it laminated.
Like, look, this is a receipt of where I was at Chili's.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me, right? But then they were like... I don't know about this, ho. Like, I really don't know about this.
You're still...
Pero, you know what?
Okay. Por ahorita, te la paso.
Okay, we're going to do it. But then they started telling her, hey, you know what? Crystal's in the other room already. And we're talking to Crystal. And Crystal is saying, you know what? She's singing like a little bird.
Beep, 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 beep.
So she says, I don't care.
It wasn't me?
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. So they let her go.
Oh, yeah?
He said, okay, whatever, we're going to keep in contact, blah, blah, blah. So then Crystal was in the other room getting interrogated. Like, she was like over there, they were asking all these questions. And then she was like, at first she was telling them so many different stories. Like, I didn't have anything to do with it. Yes, it was me at the Jeep, but I was bringing my son to dinner. Like, and then she was like, oh, no, I wasn't bringing my son to dinner. I was actually just driving around in that Jeep, but it was me on the Jeep. So then she eventually broke. And she said, I was a driver, but I was threatened by a man named Lamar. And Lamar put a gun on her head and made her drive the Jeep. But she thought it was just for a robbery. She didn't know that they were going to kill anybody. So basically, the person that supposedly was
Lamar,
that was supposedly Lamar in quotes, was supposedly gonna kidnap her and threatened her
to drive.
Told you that they were gonna do a robbery. Like, hey, you're gonna come with me because we're doing a robbery. Like, that doesn't happen when somebody's
I don't know where.
Out of nowhere. Like, here, girl, come on.
We're gonna go fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
But you're only going to drive.
But you're only driving. It's okay. So then she was just saying, sorry, I thought it was just a robbery. I didn't know that anybody was going to get murdered. So they take Crystal's phone and they find the messages that she was sending to Christopher with the K, Christopher Love, and they went to pick him up and search up his car too. They were like, okay, what's up? Let's find out what is going on with this Christopher guy, right? So then they went to pick him up and they searched his car and they found the murder weapon. So bam,
that was easy.
Well, yeah, because because they're an idiot. They're idiots. They're fucking idiots. That's why. So then now at this point, they're like, hey, what's going on? What is this? And Christopher said, we're not going down by ourselves. So he's saying like a little bird. He's saying like a little bird. He said, okay, here we go. It was Crystal. She was a mastermind and everything. So they were like, got her. Let's go get her. She was gone.
She fled.
And so when they went to go find her right after they were done, she was pieced out. She took a bus out of here.
Where she took the bus to?
Hold on. So then right after she left, they were like, what the fuck? We need to put out
an APB?
An APB about where she's at.
Is that what it is, APB?
I don't know what it is called, but they were trying to find her out. So they were going to make a press conference, right? So they're like, oh my God, what do we do? Like, what the fuck? This bitch is gone, right? So they're like, let me go ahead. So they put out a whole thing about how these two people had killed Dr. Kendra Hatcher and that they needed to find her. We needed to find her because she was a mastermind. So then right after she left, they found out that by the family, I guess, that right after she left, they were like, oh, she got on a bus and she went to Torreon. Apparently that's where her family was from. And so they released a press conference saying, hey, she's a mastermind, and they released a warrant for her arrest. After that, it took them a while, though. It took them about 6 months.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. So they were like, you know what? We're looking for her. 6 months has passed. How are we going to get this girl? There's only one way to do it. Offer money. Because money makes everything work around here. So they were like, okay, we're going to go ahead and offer some money. So the FBI went ahead and offered $100,000
oh, shit.
for her return. And they also put her on the 10th most wanted list. So she was on the 10th most wanted list, and they were offering $100,000 for information.
By the FBI?
By the FBI. So apparently Brenda, is what I researched, there's only been 9 other women
that have made
that list. And she was one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, she was one of them. So, of course, her family was like, nope, we don't know anything about it. She would never do that, blah, blah, blah. So, ya saben. They offered the money. So now, money talks, bro. In this world, money talks. So, after the money went out, hey, we're looking for this person. Here's the money. If somebody knows anything, blah, blah, blah. Guess how long it took them to find her?
2 hours?
2 days.
Oh, shit.
You were close. 2 something. 2 days. It took them 2 days to find out after the money that she was hiding in New York. Girl, no, in Torreon.
And where's Torreon? Like in what area in Mexico?
Torreon is in central area of Mexico, kind of like around Durango. Mm-hmm. So around that area. So it's like not too far away from like northern Mexico, like a little bit further in the south, kind of in the middle. So here's the deal: they catch her, got her, but they can't extradite her over to here because she has double citizenship. So technically, she's a Mexican and she's an American. So when apparently what I read was if you want, we can actually, as Mexican Americans, since our parents are Mexican, we can actually apply for double citizenship.
Yeah.
So then you would be a Mexican and an American. That's what we are, right? So then we're 200, remember?
But what does that mean? Just because she's a Mexican citizen?
Yeah, well, let me tell you. So then since she was a actual Mexican technically over there, then the country is like, you cannot take this prisoner and we're not going to release her to a state that is going to have the death penalty.
Oh.
So they couldn't release her because
Texas carries the death penalty.
Yep.
And that's what they were going to go for, first degree murder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I did not know that. Yeah. So because she had a dual citizenship, Mexico
protected her
cannot
release her because of the fact that they were gonna look for the death penalty. Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. So then I guess they were like going back and forth, and then the United States is like, or Texas or whatever, is like, okay, we won't fucking kill her. Okay.
Yeah.
We just need her back. Like, bring her back so that we can.
They take the death penalty off the table.
So they took the death penalty and they brought her ass back to Dallas.
They're like, okay, now you can have her.
So, but if you think about it.
Wait, who got the money?
I don't know. I don't know who got the money. They don't release that information. So you know how she brings them back, but like honestly, without a confession of them or the other people knowing that it was her who masterminded, they didn't have much on her.
No, it's just circumstantial.
She was like,
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. Technically,
she wasn't.
She wasn't. And not only that, she had the receipt that was folded. So basically, neatly. So basically, she was gonna fuck over Crystal and Christopher with the K, you know, because she, I mean, no está pendeja. No está pendeja nada. So then she was going towards that, right? But they were like, we need to find a way, you know, because she actually had an alibi, you know? So we need to find a way to find out how to fix this. So the prosecutor made a deal with Crystal. So they say, Crystal, if you tell us everything, then we'll give you 35 years with the possibility of parole in 15 years. Mm-hmm. So she has a 6-year-old son.
So she took that.
Of course she did. I would have. Fuck that bitch.
But you wouldn't have been doing dumbass shit like that anyway.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying I would if I was in her situation. Fuck yeah. I'll sing like,
yeah,
you want to know?
Yeah.
You want to know?
You don't know that. You don't know her anything.
Shit, I don't know her anything. And then for the fact that she fled and left us here.
And yeah,
fuck you. So then the first one that was on trial was Christopher with the K. And well, pa acabar pronto, pues they gave him death for the murder.
Yeah.
They said, peace out, bro. You're going to die. He was in there. He was wearing little glasses. I saw the whole thing. His little glasses. And he was wearing his little suit. You know, trying to be smart, but you're about to die.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're supposed to be dressed like that.
And then Brenda's trial started. So this is where I felt like, so if you want to, guys, it's all online. You can watch the whole trial
on YouTube and stuff.
I had to kind of cut it short because I would be here 4 days. But they did have a whole, about, people that knew her. They brought the people that fucking went to school with her. Like they brought everybody in, like everybody and their mama. This prosecutor was like, we're going to get this bitch, right? But they brought in Ricky. Bro, I literally cried when I saw his, like, if you can go online and look at his,
you can link it in the note.
in the linky. Wow. I will link the, or Estella will, because I don't know how, link the actual testimony of Ricky. And it was just so breaking. Oh my God, was that a Texan word? Heartbreaking? Broken? So then I was just heartbroken when I saw that, he was saying that, so then this is when he talks about what happened and how he found out. He's saying that before Kendra got home to her apartment, he texted her, hey, there's a lot of commotion, like I told you before. So you might have to take another place or park at another place when you get home because they're actually blocking off the parking. And then he went he was walking over across the street or walking over somewhere to get some tacos from a taco stand.
Ooh, tacos sound good right now.
Girl, yeah. Some little breakfast taco. Ooh. Anyway, so then they were going over there and they were like, he's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? That's when the police stop him and they interrogate him and tell him what happened. So then the lawyers, when he was on the stand, okay, so this is the moment where I was like, OMG, like that broke my heart. Because they were like, okay, do you see the person who you think did this or, the person who did this to, Kendra? And he said, yes. And he's like, do you know where she's at? And he said, yes. So I think this is the first time that he actually looked at Brenda and he started crying.
Aww.
And he's like, yes, she's right there. And they're like, can you describe her? And he said, yes, she was sitting there with the dark jacket on and she's right there. And then I just feel like that right there, all of this was like, bitch, what the fuck were you thinking?
For what?
For what?
Like, how do you, sit here? How do you ever look at this person ever again? or be in the same room as this person ever again
can't.
after what you I mean, she
can't.
was there, obviously, but like, how do you still sit there? I mean, was she looking at him?
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck, Estela. You know that.
That's what I'm saying. But like, how
Yeah.
do you just sit there and not care that you just did this to this person who supposedly you loved and wanted to be with?
I mean, you actually got her pregnant. You were going to have potentially a child with her, you know?
He gave her a promise ring.
He gave her a promise ring. Like, that's what I think hurt him the most. And I feel like I feel like a lot of us, and I always try to kind of see, like, how could that relate to, even though I'm not a killer, but how could I relate to the person or the victim? Like, that's something that I can relate to. Like, sometimes you give your all to a friendship or to a person, and they take it for granted, or in your mind, you're doing the right thing and you're not. You see what I'm saying? He was not doing the right thing by doing that, but in his mind, he thought he was just being a friendly person. You know? I don't know. That's just the way I see it.
That's the thing. I mean, just because you're nice to somebody, it doesn't mean that they want to be with you or some shit, you know?
And then you don't think like.
Pero cuando no estás viendo la cabeza.
No estás viendo la cabeza. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So then it took them only 20 minutes
to
find her
deliberate.
guilty. And they gave her life without a possibility of parole.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky did move back to California to his new job, or to move on or whatever. And then I was thinking, like, what about Kendra's family? Like, you know,
In Illinois, right?
In Illinois, like, now they're just left like with no family member.
Because of this dumb hoe.
Yeah. So I did find a few things online about Kendra. I mean, excuse me, not Kendra. I'm sorry. About la pendeja esta Brenda. She was in I think she went to school or something while she was in because they do give them an opportunity to go to school and jail and stuff. I really don't know if she even like is sorry for what she did. I have no idea. I didn't find anything about, or any interviews or anything about her saying she was sorry.
She's not. I don't think she is.
I really do not think she is either, but I mean, what can we do? So, guess what? That's the end of the story.
Sad.
Sad story. It was just, you know, sometimes in these things, we always end up like, why?
And all these things, because this shit's unnecessary.
So a lot of RIPs.
Pointless.
A lot of RIPs.
For
all
Brenda.
the RIPs for Kendra.
She was such a good person.
She was a good person, and she was she was a rising star.
And it's crazy because, okay, Ricky just like leaves and he's...
That's what I'm saying. He moves on. He goes back to California. He can move on with his life. But this woman that she worked so hard for her career, she was like in her church and her community and blah, blah. And all of a sudden you're just gone for
Forever.
no reason.
For no reason.
Just because you're fucking Toxica ass can't just say...
Move on.
Move on. Leave them alone. He doesn't want to be with you.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But thank you so much for letting me put my little 2 cents. You know, I enjoy doing the little this episode, or these 2 episodes.
Those are my claps.
Oh, those were your claps.
Yes,
Wow.
thank
you so
you.
much. So thank you everybody for your support once again. And you please, if you can, follow us on Instagram at Cafecito and Crime Pod. Or you can send us an email, tell us how we're doing.
At cafecitoandcrimepod@gmail.com.
I mean, if you don't want to tell us how we're doing, that's fine. But at least if you can just
Rate us.
rate us.
Yay.
Yay. Thank you so much. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful, wonderful week.
Oh, thank you for joining us today. And until the next one.
Bye.